Okay. Doot 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 doot. Change some settings in my microphone filters because they're just overpowering right now. Cool. My noise suppression was way too high, and so you weren't getting very much of my voice anymore. Fucking weird. But anyways, so let's double check that Twitch is working off my phone. Boom. Say that I am live already. Let's go ahead and Control Shift P. Start the timer. 5-minute timer is up. Cool. Actually, I'll leave that on, but I will turn the sound off. Dope. Okay. So on your LinkedIn, that was there real quick, and why don't you make a quick post with a link to the stream, either one of them, in the Discord channel?
Oh yeah, sure, I can do that.
Go to your profile. Nope. Lisa. Were we looking for the post about data as the new oil, or let's see?
The one after that.
Okay.
I did it today, this morning, I think.
Okay, it's just the one that pops up when I do a quick search. And then activity, fantastic presentation about the spectrum use cases of metaverse. Dope. And yes, I'm going to pull that out of here. By Full Sail. Full Sail, I don't understand Full Sail. It seems like it's going to be such a scam, but like they seem to do.
I went to Full Sail.
Did they really?
20 years ago. I went 20 years ago. 2012.
Okay. It just like it feels like it's going to be a scam, but they do so much.
They're not. Yeah, no, it's not a scam at all. In fact, it's a really good, really, really good university. It's grown a lot because it grew, like it wasn't a university back then. It just became a university like that year later. It was just Full Sail. It was pretty neat. I will say, not cheap, but really neat. And I don't think I came out with every single concept. Like they didn't teach you how to hustle in there. They didn't teach you how to go find your job, and they didn't teach you what to do. So, oh, we got to get started. I just realized what time it is. Why isn't my
2 minutes and 40 seconds is what my timer says.
Oh, sorry. I need to pull that up.
sound is on. Oh, where's your sound? There's nope. There it is. Output.
Right here.
Oh boy. Too many things open. There you are. I had my damn Discord open over there. What is going on here? What is with your framing? Whose frame is that? I didn't put that there.
Nope. I don't know.
Holy crap. There's just too many.
What's going on?
Too many overarching frames here that I can't seem to click on. So, good morning. Welcome to another very exciting episode of trying to fix my stream on live.
What happens before we go live and it's like ready and like I don't know what happens every
single time. It's Stream Decks. What
exactly? Well, maybe we should like figure out how to play some music and let us laugh through it.
I know, right?
Are you ready to go?
Yeah, you are visible. It's just
like way in the front. There we go.
Yeah. No worries. So, welcome to another episode of our podcast. And today we, as usual, have Lisa and myself. That'll be Lisa from the block with For Women by Women Crypto at womenonlycrypto.com, which is
Thank you.
Not as the name implies. It is absolutely inclusive of all people.
It is.
So please feel free. And we actually did a really cool stream the other night. Instead of doing our usual podcast on Wednesday morning, we went on Lisa's community page on her Discord and actually did an educational lesson, which was what I last posted. It's available on the YouTubes and the Twitch. And honestly, that was a really, really great session. We got a lot of really good information going on. We got some good engagement with the community. I feel like there was like some actual growth.
Yeah.
And
it needed to happen too, because a couple of those ladies, well, I think two of them have been in there multiple times. And I didn't want them to continue to get the same information. So they've graduated and it's fun. It's just fun to watch them graduate through their knowledge and really understand the spectrum, and then they get more excited and they're like, she was like, what did she say the other day? Like, oh, I ADD'd out. I'm like, no, you didn't ADD out. You're here. You're welcome. You know, once you start going, oh, what's that? And then you research. Oh, what's that? And then you research. Oh, what's that? And then you research. You're not crazy. It's just welcome.
That's exactly what all of us do is when we sit here and we watch these live streams and we learn about new stuff. I mean, even before you and I were just chatting about what we were going to chat about today, I pulled up 5 new tabs and you're like, wow, that was quick. Because that's exactly what we all do here when we're trying to figure all this stuff out. And I end up with 20 tabs that I can't go through by the end of the day because I'm trying to learn about how to use IPFS, how to use a new platform that I just learned about, how to learning, what the SEC just regulated and, this, that, and the other thing. And, 20 tabs
Which
later.
Is nothing, by the way.
Yeah, exactly. They didn't. All that was said about that regulation was that they're going to regulate. It is a bill passed to tell people to do their jobs.
Right. Yeah. That's all. It's just them saying, hey, we need to do something. Let's figure out what to do.
Yeah.
And it's been like that for a little bit. And I don't blame them. And at least to me, that shows that they're potentially trying to do it consciously.
Yeah.
Of not over developing into that area. However, what you're seeing now, again, is whole countries developing their own coin.
Right.
Which today was that they're looking at what it would take, whether it would be reasonable to develop a USD coin, right? Like, so I thought that was very interesting. And that's the exact same thing India does. So if they develop their own coin, I just find that function to be it's very interesting to me.
Yeah.
An entire country developing a coin. What are your thoughts on that?
I think it's, honestly, for the individual, it's bad. For general crypto adoption, the entire purpose of doing this, I mean, aside from them getting to stop printing physical dollar bills, which I personally think would be great, The concept of no longer using a paper currency is fantastic. We're already doing that. It's the fact that there's no privacy that will be allowed to exist at that point. The government will have full access to every transaction you ever make, no matter what. And
on that coin, right?
Yeah, on that coin, and that's what's bad about it. Right. But at the same time, them expanding their financial infrastructure to a cryptographic blockchain, like, fantastic, great. I think that's awesome.
I mean, right? Yeah. It's like you can't be mad, but you also be like, dang it, but you can't be mad. Mm-hmm. It's a very interesting place that we're at.
Yeah, and so like watching out for China is the big deal too, because they're already doing it. They're using the digital yuan, but they're forcing it, and so like it's not going well, but at the same time it's going. Mm-hmm. So, womp womp. Womp womp.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting.
Right.
Cool. And I think that the pattern seems to repeat. So I would be curious to watch the companies that are moving the countries that are moving the fastest, and just see what the outcome of that is. These are really good real life tests.
Right.
I mean, learn from there, whatever happens, the outcome of it, because some of this may be predictable, and some of it may not be. I mean, because sometimes markets are implied value. We all just get together and decide something has value.
I mean, that's how value
that's literally
is
all it is.
Decided. So,
like, this pen has value, and you're like, yes, it does. Look at that pen, and I'm like, look at this pen. And,
but then you write Supreme on it, and all of a sudden it has more value.
Exactly.
Why? It's Supreme.
Right, it's Supreme.
You have to like whisper that. It's Supreme. I saw a dude wearing Supreme sneakers the other day while he was working at Safeway stocking shelves, and I was like, bro, those, if you had not worn those, they probably would be $20,000 sneakers.
Hey, well, life isn't always about packing it away.
I mean, I'm with you on that. I want to play with my toys, and that's why there is a bunch of Legos over on my windowsill. I
have nothing. Yeah, I don't think I have a single thing that's saved. I know that sounds wild, right? But I'm not a collector either. Anyway, sorry, that was a little off topic, but that was still fun.
That's okay. It allows me time to screw with the settings of the stream. So, a couple of things that we've got on the bucket list to talk about today. That YouTube video from Full Sail, and we were just talking about Full Sail and how over these years I've always thought it was kind of a scam, but Lisa actually graduated from Full Sail, and it's a real full university. And honestly, I see them all the time, and they're doing a lot of really cool stuff. I don't want to talk bad about it. I don't know anything about the whole school itself. If you want to talk about it, please.
I'd say I think they've been around for 30 or 40 years. Their focus was they saw a real need in the future for increased graphics and audio, and they were very smart because it's absolutely needed. And so what they wanted to do was really create a real university that was for specified degrees that were for content development, basically. Mm-hmm. I mean, you have everything from audio visual to filmography to game design and development. There's not like 20 million degrees, but the degrees that they have are pretty specific, and they're basically geared towards content development. Like I said, it's not cheap, but it is reputable, and they've been around for quite some time, and they have a really good name in the industry. By the way, 20 years ago, oh gosh, dang, I just dated myself. It's even okay. 20 years ago. Even 20 years ago, me saying that I had a degree from
Full Sail.
From there, Full Sail, thank you.
Yeah.
Me saying I had a degree from Full Sail was definitely helpful in my audio engineering career. So
okay.
Anyway, but they had I follow them on LinkedIn, and yesterday they had a speaker. Do you have her name in front of you, by the way?
I've got the YouTube pulled up here, and it's now covering you.
Okay.
What?
So
Kathy Hackle. Is that an I or an L?
I think it's Hackle.
Okay, Hackle. So Kathy Hackle talking about Go ahead. I'll let you fill us in since that was your story.
So the intent was to talk about the metaverse. It says your guide to limited possibilities. But what I would say to take out of this 30 minutes was that it was really based upon like branding and developing in the metaverse and what the spectrum of what the metaverse like really looks like.
Yeah.
Let's look up. You're not going to. Sorry, go ahead.
Let's look up who this lady is. Go ahead. Keep talking.
And then she also had a Q&A at the end, which was really fantastic because people kind of stayed on topic, but they asked like layered questions about the metaverse and about how like NFTs can be used in the metaverse in the future, about like what the metaverse might look like in the future comparatively to what it looks like today.
Yeah.
And then she showed a bunch of NFT, like branded NFT projects that she worked on, which was really interesting. So yeah, she is a futurist. So a lot of what she talked about was, her answers were very like, here's what could probably and possibly is going to happen. And I love that sort of futuristic speak. So
yeah,
I mute my face when we do that because I look over. So.
Right.
Yeah. So it was a really enjoyable discussion to hear. It's 30 minutes.
Yeah.
We should drop the link and then
I can definitely do that. I can put it into the description of the episode. And so what I'm seeing, she's actually got her own website. So she's boldly stated right on the front of her website: tech futurist, metaverse strategist, keynote speaker, top tech voice on LinkedIn, author, and media personality. I mean, I can't disagree.
I can't disagree either.
She's on top of it.
And the way she talks too is really, it's how you and I talk about it. We can skip, hop, jump from concepts.
Yeah, absolutely.
And develop out theories that we're discussing and futuristic, concepts that we believe might happen because of whatever, input. She's really great at that. And she speaks it very clearly. And I think, she's also a realist in a lot of ways. And I think that's a really good type of personality to have as a futurist.
Yeah. What is going on? There we go. Holy crap. Sorry, my thing was all messed up from the other night when we were doing our thing. And so, yeah, honestly, so what she was talking about in that, and this is just from what you portrayed to me, I didn't get a chance to watch the YouTube video, is she's, basically talking about whether or not there will be just one metaverse. And I'm going to switch back to you. And we can kind of talk this over real quick. So, and you asked me, is there going to be just one metaverse? And I think the term metaverse is too broad to really talk about what these individual metaverse projects are right now, because I think there's going to be an overarching interoperable metaverse that encompasses all of these together. And
you think there is?
I really do. Like it. That's kind of one of the big things.
It's like Ready Player One sort of stuff.
Exactly. And it's already like that. So like if you go inside of any of the metaverses, you can go from place to place to place. And so
you know what it is, then what you're saying conceptually what you're saying, wouldn't it mean that the metaverse was our reality, like what we have out here, but just deepened? What I mean by that is like, you know what I'm saying? Like,
yeah. I absolutely do. And
but that if that were the case, that would be a centralized. If there's like a Ready Player One, that'd be like centralized, unless there's some sort of like open software.
Yeah,
I don't know how you would get to that point.
Well, and did you actually like read and or watch the book and movies?
No.
So
I watched the movie, but no, I didn't read the book.
The overarching concept of the movie is, yes, they basically live and function inside this digital world. It's got multiple worlds within the entire universe. So it's got actual planets that you can go hop to from using in-game currency. The in-game currency is real currency, very much the same way our digital assets like crypto are. And the villain of the story isn't the creator of the I'm trying to remember what they call their world there, but whatever, their metaverse thing. And it's that the creator died and left clues as to how to find the golden egg in the game, which then gives you absolute power over the metaverse. And so the bad guys are trying to take it over.
Yeah. So this guy just basically put the whole world on lockdown and hostage because he centralized the metaverse. No, thank you.
Yeah.
I don't want that story, I guess is what I'm saying.
Right.
I don't want that story. I want a story where what she describes in this, the way I just like the way that she describes it, because this is kind of the way my thought process is that the metaverse itself is like an internet, and within the metaverse is going to be separated domains.
Exactly.
That there's not going to be like a single metaverse, but that they're going to be domains under it.
Yeah.
Because singular metaverses is like, that's just basically just centralization again. Everybody should be scared for that. It's like 1984. Like, I don't know. That sounds scary to me.
Well, and that was the goal of the villain in Ready Player One. And so at the end of it, by the way, spoilers, if anybody's watching it, hasn't seen it or read it.
Don't say the end. Don't say the end.
Okay, I won't.
Let's skip over it. So just what I mean, what is the concept that you were trying to
the concept
develop?
is that we are trying to get to that open world of there are multiple metaverses, but they are operable between each other. Even though it's going to be possibly different blockchains, we're going to have Ethereum metaverse, we're going to have a Cosmos metaverse, we're going to have a Sandbox, we're going to have a Wax. I can't even like think of who else is out there. I mean, Meta will have their own. I mean, but if you aren't willing to work with these other metaverses and make your product, exchangeable between, then chances are you're probably going to fall out of favor in this whole rat race of trying to be the metaverse, the long term. And that's why there's kind of some pushback against Meta, the company Facebook is trying to be, and all of that, because they are trying to be that single verse out there that everyone uses. They're trying to be the one thing, the overarching controlling power, and nobody wants that.
Yeah, nobody wants. That's exactly what nothing.
So very exciting. Let's cruise on to another story here, which is actually totally related. I'm going to switch over to live screen for a sec and show Emerge, something you told me about right before we got on here. Do you want to go ahead and explain this one real quick?
Yeah. Again, she was actually talking about this, and it's only 30 minutes. You get a lot out of it.
Yeah.
This is a technology, and I feel like I had seen this prior to this, but this is it seems like we're at a stage where they're really trying to develop out. But what is it? I'm sorry. What is the raise? I guess how like what is the electronic? I don't know I don't know the X. What is the technology behind it?
So. And you actually posted something different that was very, very similar the other day, and I haven't read through this product yet, but what the other product was using is ultrasound as a little jacket that you put on.
Ultrasound, right.
And so it's making it so you can feel things that are not there. And in this instance, Emerge is showing that their technology only works within that box of space. So that's fairly limited, but honestly, slap 50 of them together and you got yourself a whole room of being able to feel,
as long as they can react as a single unit.
Right. Yeah. You definitely have to work out a whole new software system that, combines all of them, or, scale it up into a room size technology. And it definitely feels like we're getting closer to
ultrasonic waves.
Okay. Yeah. So I was right. It is.
It's just intended to give you like the feeling of actually like, I mean, in one of these examples, magic is coming out of this person's hand, and
right.
I'm sure that the feeling that it would feel like would be, I don't know, maybe goopy. I don't know, but that would, our nerve endings are really interesting, and they can be stimulated by these types of ultrasonic waves. So
right.
Yeah, I'd be curious but it is kind of small, and you do have to keep your hands over it. And so it's just, I guess it's fun to watch the technology grow.
For sure.
And maybe one day we're going to look back at this and be like, haha, look how funny that small square is, but really
or
it's
look how
like
giant that headset is.
Right. It's like groundbreaking right now. It's groundbreaking.
Yeah.
And we just have to remember that. So yeah, I like to share these sort of new tech. I'm big into like new hardware.
Absolutely. As am I.
Love
100%.
hardware. Love me some hardware.
Right. So let's skip to the next subject here real quick. And this one should come to no surprise to anyone in the space. All right, I didn't have my own webcam on. That's funny. So what is going on over at the SEC has rejected yet another spot Bitcoin ETF application from New York Dig. Let's see, I mean, honestly, I just like bringing this up because we all kind of knew it wouldn't get approved. Honestly, why bother is all I'm asking, because like, yes, people want to be able to invest in this but don't want to have to deal with cryptocurrency, but at the same time, like, it's becoming so easy to deal with cryptocurrency, to interact with it, specifically through centralized exchanges, that why not talk to your financial advisor and tell them, yes, I want this. Or, if you really do want to be able to spot trade, you can use products like, why is it escaping my head right now? What's that company that has the big trust, the Bitcoin trust? Grayscale. So you can buy GBTC on, I think it's New York Stock Exchange, as a stock product of their company. And so it's backed by their company's trust, which is holding Bitcoin. So you get exposed to the asset anyway, without having to go and figure out how to use a crypto exchange. But again, it drives me crazy.
It's going to be, this is a political thing. And they're trying, and honestly, I think they're trying to buy time.
Yeah.
Because if you look at what they're talking about in here, you see, I think there's a couple of times where it says, oh, we need longer decisions. And the decision itself, this one, it says, it looks as though it's just padding time.
Yeah.
They could padding time for them to figure out what to do. Because in a lot of ways, the government itself is going to see Bitcoin as a fraudulent activity. I mean, think about it. It's a competing currency. I mean, look, I get it, but at some point, you see what I'm saying?
Yeah. I mean, honestly,
they're in a business.
Just running on a treadmill, trying to catch up to what's already been done, trying to reinvent the wheel so that they can have control and have, all this information on it. Because that's what it comes down to is they want to collect data on us. I'm going to switch back to you here. Oh, never mind. You're not there.
Accepting exchange traded funds based on crypto futures rather than through direct exposure. Misha does a sense to prove ETF links to BTC's futures. Interesting.
Excuse me. Nose is running again. So it's not that exciting, but it's just, it's the usual, back and forth of, oh, we're going to get an ETF, and 3 months later, nope, we're not getting an ETF. Sorry.
Oh yeah, I wouldn't put my eggs in any basket.
Yeah, it's honestly, we've been going through this for years.
Yeah. Not on that, not yet.
So I did have an interesting story real quick. Let's just kind of power through this one, and then we'll cruise on to some quick shills and call it a day. So let me actually switch back to my full live screen so you guys can see what I'm reading here. This is an article on Bankless. It's got a pretty decent little news source that I found recently. How to create your own NFT platform using Polygon Studios and Artivia, I think is what they're calling it. So they're building on top of Zora NFT protocol, which I have not had a chance to dig into. I did open another article about that I was going to read through here pretty quick. But they're on apparently version 3 of Zora, which is interesting. And I kind of pulled up the Artivia app that I didn't really get a mess with a whole lot yet. But what it's basically showing is a super easy way to curate your own little website and NFT platform. So you don't have to go through all of the coding and scripting that you may have otherwise, which, for new people coming into the space is fantastic. I can't speak to anything on how good their blockchain tech is yet, or even what type of consensus mechanism, but looks like you can sign transactions with your MetaMask, Wallet Connect, Coinbase Wallet, and then curate your own little site. It seems pretty interesting. I very much am looking forward to companies doing this and giving us a really reasonable way to, make something that functions the right way without having to write your own scripts and website, things. Something a little more comprehensive than like what they do with like Squarespaces. Squarespaces can still be kind of confusing if you're not familiar with it. So what do you think about these kind of spaces that are popping up of, building your own little NFT platform versus writing a website?
I love it.
Yeah.
I mean, I love the fact that you're going to see a lot of these different types of companies, or I don't know, whatever, pop up that are going to specialize in giving people the freedom to do something that's their own. And I'll give you another example is for like 3D art, or for artists, right, that do NFT stuff. And since the metaverse was our topic today,
yeah,
there are places right now where you can go in and create your own 3D museum, and it could be, it's yours. Do you see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So like anybody could walk into your museum. You're not connected to a museum.
Mm-hmm.
So I think you're going to see a little bit more of that.
Yeah.
People.
What's the platform called? Do you remember? Man, we're both
no, I'll have to get back.
Killing it for remembering things today. I couldn't remember.
I was like, that's a Twitter thing. Yeah,
Yeah.
like I don't know if that company. Yeah, I don't remember. Yeah, there's a lot of names of companies.
Right. But, yeah, I've got dozens going through my space.
Sorry, I didn't mean to move around so much. Yeah. So
I do think it's really cool. I don't know much about the Zora V3. It sounds like it's running on top of Polygon, or something of the nature. Which would that make it a layer 3?
wouldn't that be?
I'm not sure.
That's a really good question.
But speaking of Polygon,
don't worry about it too much.
They did actually have an issue that shut them down for a minute, very recently, like last day or so, where one of their 3, I don't even know what the term is for it. It's beyond my understanding. One of the 3 things that helps their whole blockchain platform run had an error in processing, and it shut down. So like it was a significant error where they actually had to go through and fix it and proceed with what they were doing. So most of the important things, like their actual blockchain platform, was still processing things. It was one of their 3rd layer things that wasn't working quite right. And I wish I had that article up. I totally forgot about that until just now. And
I mean, it's good. Again, we're back down to like companies that use companies that you don't know. If you trust that company, the company that you use, but you have to trust that they're using the right companies. And
right.
And who knows? I don't know if it's a 3rd party thing or not.
Oh, I'm just looking for a quick thing on it. Polygon Unreal crash, discretion. Polygon, let's try Matic. This is something I heard on somebody else's stream this morning. Oh, here we go. Here's why Polygon Matic network was shut down for 11 hours. Cause for Polygon yesterday.
Let's get good info here.
Implementation. Oh, so it was their Heimdall implementation is used by one of the 2 layers of the network's proof of stake chain. The team confirmed the downtime of 5:50 p.m. UTC on March 10th, which was yesterday.
Sorry, what you're scrolling? What did we actually find out there?
Heimdall was the name of the section that was having an issue. It's the Heimdall node. So one of their three major nodes had an issue, and that concerns me. Speaking on the centralization of Polygon as a network. However, Polygon is using Ethereum. Remember, Polygon's a layer 2, so it's doing things on its own as a centralized product and then shooting it off to Ethereum, which is then decentralized as far as I'd have to look it up, but for a long time they were actually using a lot of AWS servers to provide hash power. But it looks like at 4 a.m. UTC on March 11th, team successfully released a hotfix, restored operations of Polygon network. The bridge itself will not be active until we fully resolve the
bridging
issue.
model. Oh gosh.
Yeah.
Yeah. So this is okay. You know how when you talk like a lot about interoperability, this is the problem with interoperability.
Yeah.
So now, as much as we want to say it would be really amazing if all these tech companies would like do this stuff, and then they would be like, they would be able to, yeah, I guess because Polygon is still running off of ETH, but just yeah. That's sorry. I didn't mean to go all ADD on you for a second, but
that's okay.
That's just concerning.
Yeah, it is. And I mean, I don't really like using Polygon just because all of a sudden you're not
so
quite using Ethereum, but at the same time you are, and you have to deal with this whole confusion of, okay, you got to pay a little bit of ETH gas, but not a lot. It has to go in the same wallet. All these things where, if all you did instead was, make a better chain, things will work better. If you look at a lot of the fastest chains that are working right now, they're not proof of work. And I'm gonna switch back to you for this conversation.
I mean, and they won't be in the future.
No, honestly,
and that's why I really would love to see it used for currency,
right? And it drives me bonkers.
And not business. But who am I?
Yeah.
Yeah. So you want to go on your last topic here?
Sure. This one is actually a personal topic, a little bit of shill. So I finally, after probably putting together assets for the last 2 years, got a physical print done of one of my AI generated piece that is derived from my photography work. Printed out, and I was testing some of the lighting situation. I finally got it in yesterday, and it looks super awesome. It's going to be a fully unique piece. Each one of these like 11 or 12 that I do is going to be a one-of-one unique claimable NFT with like 20 or so copies of the digital asset. So in this whole thing, I'm actually gonna, let me make this a little bigger for you guys so you can see it. So this is the actual piece right here. It's on my wall. The light is shining back through the canvas and out the sides. And once I finish, it's gonna look a lot more, I don't know, done. But I think it just looks fucking incredible right now. All the pieces are gonna be like this. I am actually going to scatter the pieces across the world in art galleries so that in the 20 or however many digital versions of the NFT, there will be clues as to how to find these physical real world pieces. And to even be allowed to buy the physical real world unique piece, you have to have one of those first NFTs, the digital version. And there will be a lot of benefits to holding in the long term that I'll elaborate on later. But for now, it's going to have the clues as to how to find the piece. And it will allow you to then burn and remint the piece that allows you to claim ownership of this. So holding that one-of-one unique NFT is the physical redeemable token that you need to walk away with the actual piece. And I'm trying to decide on some really neat little features, like when you walk in there, you're going to have to like scan your NFT or show it somehow and then do the burn and mint process, because you won't be able to mint that other one without burning the one that you have. I'll switch back to you and you can let me know what you think about all of that. Bam.
Yeah, I love it. I mean, I'm a big fan of the lighting.
Right.
I didn't realize that light could come out of canvas like that.
Yeah.
I think it looks really badass. So yeah, excuse the language, but I'm with it. I mean, I like the art. I love the colors. So I think you did a great job, because what's interesting is that the colors change but not all of them, some of them. And I think that's at least that's what it looks like from here.
And I think that's really colors, neat. It like highlights through and reveals different aspects of the actual.
Yep, that's a good way to. Yep.
It's honestly, I
think
you
really did a great job. I mean, I'm huge on utility, and I've seen people do this, and I'm a huge fan of people giving out real art. What I would say is just make sure you're pricing it in a way that's allowing you to not go under doing it. So yeah, I know there's a lot of decisions there as well about how you're going to put it out. But I love the idea because I think it's a good form of utility because you're creating a relationship with an artist, and people want genuinely relationships with the artists of the art that they collect. A lot of people do. So yeah.
So the longer term kind of goal, this first set of NFTs is going to be kind of a kickstart for the rest of the project. So I've actually got a Harry Potter length novel that I wrote that's going to have a card game, and all that is going to actually happen off of the NFT, including the book, all the art for that, all the cards for that. I'm going to try and build this whole this whole chain that's going to operate with a couple of different tokens, where it's going to be like if you own one of the 20 and the individuals. So when you burn that one of the 20 and you mint the new one, it retains all of the properties of the other 20, except for the commission rate. And so this is something I actually wanted to ask you about. So my commission rate is actually really high. It's going to be a 20% commission rate that is divided out into the other NFTs. So the one person will buy it, and then that big chunk of commission will get split out amongst all the NFT holders, and then 1% of that is going to go into me. So as far as anytime it moves, providing those
1%.
Yeah. So if there's 20 tokens that are out there, the only token in that 20 that doesn't get a commission for the sale or transfer of the unique one of one is going to be the one holding the unique NFT, because obviously if they're moving it, buying it, selling it, why would they get commission on it? The 19 others, the digital versions, are going to be getting 1% each. Sorry, it'll be 1% out of that total 20%. I'm explaining this very poorly. It's 1%
I'm having trouble.
net, not just out of that 20%. So they'll each get 1/20th of the 20%. Does that make sense?
That makes more sense. Yes.
There we go. Yeah. So they're going to get 1/20th of that, and I'm going to get one of the 20th as a commission. So I'm actually only getting 1% commission rate, and everyone else that holds an NFT is also getting a 1% commission rate. And that's anytime.
Relative. One is relative here.
Yes. one out of the total, value of the piece. And so after the initial sale, that's all I'm going to get is that 1% myself. And then all the other people are holding it can have that 1%. And so that's going to go off on all of the other ones. And then on top of that, there's going to be airdrop mechanisms built into those first series of NFTs. So the art series, anyone who holds those is going to be kind of like a community member. You'll be able to get airdrops for the card game and the books. You'll have membership to whatever later thing that I already have planned that I just am not announcing yet. I'm really, really excited about what's happening later in the project, but we have to get past stage one, which is minting and selling all of these first art NFTs. And after that, I'll announce, the bigger series, what's going to happen with the book and the card game, and what's going to happen after season 1 of the card game. There's going to be 3 or 4 seasons that build on top of each other, and a very big real world incentive. I'm really excited. I don't want to spoil it. But it's going to take a lot of people, and it's going to take some really good lawyers and honestly a lot of money, but it's going to be really worth it, and everyone's going to have a lot of fun with this whole project by the end of it. So yeah.
Cool. Good show.
Thanks. Aside from the fact that I can't explain my own, tokenomics.
You'll figure it out.
I've got
Keep
it all
practicing.
written down, and I've already
They call
written
it
a
an
bunch of the white
elevator.
paper.
They call it an elevator pitch, by the way. It's a real
There you
thing,
go.
and
yeah.
It's a process. So yeah,
Right.
think about it.
Okay, question for you. What cities, and so one of the biggest clues is for finding these is going to be it's in X city. Okay, so I'm going to go out and I'm going to physically put the piece in a city somewhere, and I'm not going to tell people exactly where, but I will tell them it is in this city. So what cities do you think I should put them into? I'm going to have 11 or 12 pieces. The first one's going to go in Seattle, just because that's where I live. And then after that,
tell the story. Don't ask me. I'm going to put it back on you. Tell a story.
Okay.
If you're just sending people to random places, they're not going to, it doesn't mean anything to them, and they're not going to have a lot of value other than finding something.
Yeah.
Unless you're telling a story.
Okay.
So where are these locations and what part of the story are they?
Yeah.
I don't care if you make it up as part of the story, but just try to make sure that the places that you're choosing have meaning and value in the project itself, so that it doesn't feel random, because people aren't, I don't know, they might not know what to do with that.
Okay.
So it's just a thought.
No, that's definitely a good thought. What kind of stories? Like, I mean, I could be like, okay, my original travel story consisted of like going from Seattle out to Frankfurt and then Amsterdam and all around Europe. I could use that as one of them.
But are those people, so, but I want you to feel like, are those people going to actually do this? That means then you got to sell this internationally, or expect people to travel. So I would say go back to the board.
Yeah.
Write down what you hope what you imagine the experience to be, and then move backwards.
Okay.
A lot of people plan forwards, plan backwards. Put yourself at the end of the scenario, imagine what you want that experience to be, and then move backwards.
Yeah.
But anyway, so yeah, that would be just be a little bit of, so it's all about experience and how you creating experience from the bottom up. It sounds great, but that doesn't mean your vision is going to come into place. Whereas if you start from the backwards,
right, and it was definitely brought up to me that like having it so you have to physically find it, might be a hindrance.
Yes, right.
But at the same time, like what they were talking about yesterday in one of the spaces was making it an experience. And so like if you want to go out and you want to buy a fine piece of art, $10,000 piece of art, and you're like, okay, well the art's in Vegas, so I have to go to Vegas to look and buy this piece of art. One of the things I was actually going to really work on here is making, when you do find it, when you get there, to be able to buy it, that it is an experience. You're going to walk in, and assuming you've got the NFT on hand, they'll provide you with like a little glass of champagne, maybe the whole bottle, whatever. If you do buy it, we'll pop a bottle, and that's all you or whatever, and make it a whole spiel, like a whole thing, maybe. I don't know.
So keep in mind too that NFTs exchange hands. So I mean,
right,
you don't know who has the value in their hands at that time, and you don't know what sort of value you expect them to have unless you're doing a single use value with. Do you see what I'm saying?
Yeah, well, so to have any of the experience happen, you have to show up and prove, with the mechanism right there. And
can't do that for everybody.
Exactly.
So then you have to figure out how to prove that, how to validate it against the wallet, how to prove it. So I guess what I'm saying is maybe scale back a little bit in some ways, and maybe there's some sort of digital something that could be done that could develop, or I'm just trying to think out loud, that could grow or develop from there. I'm not sure. I would have to think about it a lot further, but yeah.
One of the things I was thinking about doing is having a burner phone there that has whatever application that will be able to verify this on hand, so that the person that works at the place will take the phone. They'll have very specific, like, okay, have them scan your phone and it'll validate this, that, or the other thing with I'm not sure yet, but
I'm not sure. Yeah, I would say take it back to the board. There's a lot to think about.
There's so much to think about, and so much to develop.
Yeah,
it's
and
wild.
we don't need to. Yeah, it's a lot. Don't do it here. I mean, I love the idea, but don't develop everything here, because then there's no surprise, and then they all get your stuff. So yeah.
Oh, anyway, I think that's probably about
good chill,
for
though.
today.
I love the art.
Thank you. I'm really excited about it. So anything you need to show yourself?
Not today.
Not today? All right. Well, happy Friday, everyone. Thank you for showing up. Anybody who watches and sees, and hit the like, subscribe, and look forward to, I think we're doing 2 a week now, Tuesday and Friday. And Wednesday night is Wallets and Wine on the For Women by Women community page, which goes through the Discord right now. I'll try and broadcast as many of those as I can.
And that's like broadcasting lessons being taught, I guess, is the differentiation between what we're doing here and what that looks like.
Yeah, and it's a live stream in Discord that you can actually speak in. It's more like a Twitter space in that fashion, except for, you don't have
everybody can speak.
Yeah, anyone can speak, assuming you've got those settings set up. So look forward to that, and have a good weekend. Thank you very much, everyone. Let's call it a day.